y'all know the purpose. I'm just going to see if we have no more participants. So I just wanted to, like, I had this pre-written because I wanted to talk a little bit about how the year has been. So I wrote this up for everybody. It's like I stand before you today. I'm really humbled and deeply grateful for the privilege of serving as president for Backcountry Horsemen. I've been doing that for 3 years out of the 6 years I've been a member. I think actually 7 years I've been a member of Backcountry. It's been an incredible journey. Lots of highs, a few challenges, but most importantly, it's been a journey we've taken together. Everywhere I go, I witness the dedication and resilience of volunteer organizations, each facing their own set of struggles. We know all too well the commitment it takes to push forward to make a tangible difference in our area. These organizations are the lifeblood of our communities, striving tirelessly to create a positive impact. But we also understand that it's not always an easy path. The enormity of the task at hand, the financial constraints, it can all seem quite daunting. We rely on the kindness and generosity of those who believe in our missions, yet in a world brimming with responsibilities, it's not always easy to find individuals willing and able to devote both time and resources. In the midst of these challenges, I'm heartened by the remarkable progress of our own Rocky Mountain Backcountry Horseman chapter. This year, we've seen an outpouring of grassroots support that has infused new energy into our mission. Every new member who has joined has not only rolled up their sleeves on our trail clearing rides, but they've also brought fresh perspectives, innovative ideas, and an unwavering dedication to the mission. Everybody that's joined this year they somehow like know the mission, and they've only been here like 6 months. It's heartwarming to witness the camaraderie that has blossomed from that, from members ensuring our work crews are well fed, like we talked about with Michelle, to those stepping up to serve on the board for the coming year. Michelle also. Interesting. This surge of enthusiasm and involvement is a testament to the strength of our community and our collective commitment to preserving and enjoying America's backcountry and wilderness. Together, we're not merely overcoming the challenges often plaguing volunteer organizations, we're thriving, reinvigorated by the influx of passionate individuals who believe in our cause. And that's all of you that are here and all of you that were here at the board meeting. With this newfound momentum, I have no doubt that we'll continue to make significant strides in the years to come. To all of you listening to this live or to this later, our motto this year, help how you can, when you can, if you can, was really brought to life by some remarkable members, both new and old. With a group like this, I'll know we'll continue to leave a lasting legacy for generations to come. And thank you all so much for trusting me to lead the chapter. I have had a ton of fun with all of you guys this year. With that, I want to, this was like our big thing, right? This is like, I made this little collage. This was our big thing this year. Little things, because it's okay if the only thing you do is join. That's fine. It gives us some money. It gives us the $13 we need to sharpen our tools when Amy goes and rips through trees for 6 hours straight. Like, but it also gives, if you want to do more, it's available. Like, no one's being forced to do anything. You're helping us support a mission at the local, state, and national level. This is just kind of a brief rundown of what we did this year. I just picked a couple little things that we did, and I want to hand it over briefly to Sadie to just kind of summarize how ABC Sangres did this year, and maybe just a little bit about how we might scale back next year, but still do it. Sadie, if you want to take like just a minute.
Sure. A lot of successes. I think, so I'll go over those in a second here. I do agree with Hillary, but it'll be a larger conversation with the board next year, and definitely the PLC committee, and just where we want to go with direction to pare it down. Since we did have the 3 events, it did give opportunities. We did have different people at each one that couldn't make others. We did have new members join for each one as well, and we did tweak it each time. I think we can take those successes and maybe, collate it down into I don't know, maybe a smaller event, maybe a smaller weekend, and then take that success as well, work towards the Levada and Trails for All, maybe having a coalition weekend, maybe spreading it a bit rather than being so intensive in one place would be kind of the lessons learned on this one. But we did, I keep saying it and I will say it again. I think if there was the coolest thing that we did this year, in my opinion, that it is that we had the first work ride staffed 100% with riders with disabilities. And I just could not be more thrilled with that. And we have a lot to learn on how to make that, as inclusive and comfortable and, just good for the riders that we can, but to kind of open that door and have people interested to get in the backcountry when it may be just a lot more daunting for people is really positive. And that was because of the Sangres grant and what we were able to accomplish this year with the Sangres group. So that's that.
Thank you, Sadie. I'm gonna like super fast skim over these cabin fever rides. I do have something I wrote for this specifically that I wanted to make sure it got recorded because I want to make sure I'm on record as saying this. As I go through the next slides about the trails we've worked on this year, it's interesting to observe the trends in our efforts. Our chapter is incredibly fortunate to operate in an area with favorable riding conditions almost year round. This allows us to contribute to a wide range of trail projects, making a meaningful impact throughout the year. It's important to note that sometimes the trails are already in excellent condition thanks to the dedication of previous volunteers. Like Sadie mentioned, we've had the opportunity to daylight this year and do very minimal trail work because the trails are already pretty clear. We greatly appreciate those efforts. Like anybody that goes out there, member or not, if things get open, things get open. We rely on our members and riders to be our eyes and ears on the trail. So if you come across a section that needs attention, please don't hesitate to reach out. I actually had someone tell me there's a washout on Beaver Creek that they want us to spend some time on. And I said, just send us an email and try to track where it is and we'll do what we can. So anyway, I encourage each of you, anybody watching this, to seize the opportunity when the weather is pleasant to explore our trails this fall and winter. Consider bringing a pair of loppers or garden shears to help clear past at Grape Creek. Like our hardcore members, Sadie and Brandon, who are out there like every free moment. It's crucial though, this is what I want to get recorded, that we remain mindful never to ride on shared trails when there's likely to be mud. Preserving the integrity of these trails is vital for our continued access as equestrians in the region. Okay. Anyway, Cabin Fever Ride Series, super popular. You guys had plenty of time to look at that. ABC Sangres, we talked about already a little bit. We went out in June at the start of the year to kind of see where things were at. Didn't really bring any tools because, at least for my rides, we just want to see how far we could get. Brighten the Sangres, we got up to Macy Lake and Lakes of the Clouds because a lot of those trails were clear already. And then Celebrate the Sangres, go up and celebrate the hard work and celebrate what we've all done in terms of, and just celebrate the colors. But I believe we've had probably 30 rides offered now, I would guess, based on like the one coming up this weekend and Black Friday. We offered 30 rides this weekend, starting off at this weekend. We offered 30 rides this year. So we started at Seep Springs. I just kind of put them in order. We have that trail in pink is the Fred Garza Memorial Trail that we had named in honor of one of our longtime members who put thousands of hours in the trail. This was his favorite one. So get up there and check that out. There's signage on either end of that trail, so you know where it is. Good views, and Seep Springs is good. Even if the trails are muddy, you can ride there because that's an ATV park. They don't care about horse hoof prints. You can ride all year there if you want. I wouldn't recommend it in the summer. Red Canyon Park. We're still staying active in the city of Canyon City, and they're planning for that. We have basically an idea of what we want, so we're going to try to make sure that the equestrian voice on that committee is heard. We'll see. I don't know. The general consensus of Red Canyon Park from the community is that they don't want anybody to touch it at all. So we'll just kind of keep monitoring it because it's a really nice, it's a very interesting place to ride. I included a couple of videos. It's very much reminiscent of riding in slot canyons, which I think is really neat to have that in this area. Let me see if the other one will play. Yes. So the slot canyon aspect of it, I think, is really cool. And the Red Rocks formations, if you're down in this area, you don't want to go up to the springs to Garden of the Gods. This is a really neat little treat if you know where you're going. We had to go with somebody that knew the area. Let's see. Shelf Road and the Banks, we've been up there.
You're not going to ride most of this trail, and chance it's just a glorified backpack.
And so we went up there and flagged from the corrals to the trailhead, the old trail. Like, it's slightly new, but we basically flagged out the trail so you don't have to ride on the road. Most people still ride on the road, but people get going fast. So if you want to go do winter riding, another place that, like, there's snow on the ground in the shady parts, but definitely a totally fine place to ride if it's been muddy or snowy, if that's something you like to do, because it's hikers don't care, and it's mostly 2-track trails for vehicles, so it's not a big deal if there's hoof prints. But if you want to go up and ride that little cutout where the trail used to be, it's really nice. It takes you to some interesting places and it keeps you off the road. Picket Wire Canyon, very popular. Couldn't go again this year, so someday I'll get back to the dinosaur tracks, but this is one that we like to stay visible on because it's a really nice shared use trail, and so we want to make sure horses keep access out there, which I don't think it's a problem, but it's definitely one to keep on our radar. Deer Haven, we love. Deer Haven is always a blast. That's Amy managing to open a gate with her baby boy. Always a challenge. Deer Haven is also a really interesting place. Like, you don't have to ride on the trails out there. It's kind of an open access place, so you can ride off trail and find skeletons to your heart's content. That's a friend of mine bagging up a skeleton she found while we were out there. Grape Creek, we've talked about all kinds, so I'll keep scrolling through. The Royal Gorge rock formations out there, the water crossings, the grass, there's just nothing not to like about it. You just have to be prepared for anything. Garden of the Gods, we have led rides out there before. This is my favorite.
Yeah, you're going to
Little
win.
clip. This was
Where's he
2 years ago, I think.
Oh.
Sadie showing everybody this sneaky little climb.
Yeah, you can do it. Yes, you can. Go ahead, bud. Take care of mama.
I hate the sound of my voice. But yeah, a very, very cool trail. Sadie is very gracious in leading rides up there for people and sharing, you know, the rules and regulations of that place so we don't lose access. Another place where if you get caught riding in the wrong place or not kicking your poop, very easy for them to just say, you know what, forget it. Horses are too much of a hassle. So definitely one to keep an eye on. We also had a new ride at Dick's Peak. I didn't go, but definitely a very cool place to ride with nice rolling hills and grass. Bruno Gulch was probably my favorite ride of the year. Super, super cool ride to see the iron fence. Just really neat. And it's a shared trail. Most of the trail is a Jeep trail up until you get to like the very end as you ride up to the iron fence. It's mostly a shared Jeep trail out here. So for anybody that's like still watching, I appreciate it. I'll just keep cruising through. Dome Rock, another one. I sent this to the board. We had a little article published in the CPW newsletter about equestrian use of Dome Rock. So another one, like to go up there. That's another one that you could like just take a pair of loppers and cut some of the willow brush out of the way of the trail, because there are places where it's hard to find where you're going. But definitely the best time to go is when you can ride and see the dome and ride the whole loop, because the color changes out there are perfection. And then Dome Rock is just quite a view. And again, like it's just what I really like about Dome Rock is the incredible amount of aspen trees you can ride through, and you're just riding through this like golden forest. Like your path is gold from the leaves that fell, the gold coming through the leaves. It's amazing. Squirrel Creek is an old one, but a good one. We spent a little time out there paying attention to that. That's a good one. I don't have a whole lot to say about it. It's fun. It's one of the oldest it is the oldest campground in Colorado, I believe. Everybody walking together. Lakes to the Clouds. So getting up into the Sangres. That's an older picture from probably when we were up there in June, where there's still snow on it. It's usually the first one we get cleared because outfitters use it a lot. Macy Lake, my absolute favorite trail that we ride and clear. This was one that we were asked to clear back in 2019, I believe, by Forest Service. It was Macy Lake and North Brush were the two they wanted us to help get open because it was devastated with down trees. And now it's generally accessible by mid to late summer to get up to the lakes and go fishing. It's a really nice one. I did want to make sure I took an opportunity to talk about, of course, it doesn't show the whole name. It's been doing this to me. I'll just fix it real quick out of like OCD. Comanche Venable Trail, we have spent time out there, but I wanted to make a point to talk about not riding on Phantom Terrace or Venable Pass. The picture on the left, the red line shows where the trail is supposed to be coming up over Phantom Terrace and down Venable Pass to get to the point where you start to have a real trail to walk on. We know of at least 2 people who have lost horses out there trying to ride that loop. So just anybody that watches this video know that like we strongly recommend against riding any loop trail up in the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, because they're not maintained and they are incredibly dangerous. Even for the most seasoned of horses and mules, it is just not something that's really worth your life or the horse's life. But with that said, Comanche Venable, those are quite challenging on their own. And Venable, in my opinion, has probably the best aspen leaf viewing. That's a picture of Venable on the right. Music Pass we got to work with National Park Service this year on that kind of side of the Sangres, working on some of the trail clearing out there. That has like, this to me, Sadie, is like the most iconic picture I think you've ever taken. It's just like, how could you not want to ride up there? Like those views are just so incredible. And then I wanted to make sure I like took time to point out what we have coming for next year. We're still going to do ABC Sangres. It's probably going to be restructured a little bit to kind of acknowledge that there's only so many people we have to organize things like this. We're going to have to kind of do it smaller. The Cabin Fever Ride Series for sure coming back, super popular. And I myself will have a 3-year-old that needs to get out and do baby stuff like that. So you can expect quite a few rides from me going out. And the Cabin Fever Rides is to shake off the cobwebs and to support green riders or green horses. So it doesn't mean you have to be a green rider or bring a green horse. Like it's actually better to have a couple seasoned horses come along for the ride so there's sensible brained animals in the group. We also have the equine first aid thing. And then hopefully we'll look at getting more grants, and we have a couple trail coalitions next year that I'm super excited about, as well as trying to expand our partnerships with government agencies. Right now, we generally partner with BLM and Forest Service. CPW, we kind of got we nudged our way in there with that newsletter article. So hopefully we can kind of leverage that with CPW next year to say, hey, what can we actively do to help you on a horse trail somewhere, and get more involved with that. Same with National Park Service. We got an in with them. So we really want to look at like opening Sand Creek Trail or other trails that we have that we can help them with. So with that, that's where I'm going to leave you guys with hope for the future, that next year our goal is going to be to engage, educate, and empower.